At the cafe, Ilhelm, the current head of the Rewind family, says that Dekulayan really caught him off guard during the meeting. He can't wrap his head around it. He wonders why Dekulayan is doing this while being so cautious of another magic family. Just why? "Are you siding with the blood shrouds, Dekulayan?" he asks. This conversation really shocked Lilia, who is an actual blood shroud. Ilhelm states that Dekulayan said he wanted to annihilate them before, and even before that, he blabbered on about how lowly species shouldn't have the right to live. Furthermore, Dekulayan's paper condemning the blood shroud is still at the university. "Did you perhaps find a blood shroud slave to conduct research for you?" he asks, while leaning towards Dekulayan. Alan speaks up because he finds Ilhelm's words disrespectful and insulting. Dekulayan tells Alan to calm down. Now comes Dekulayan's counterattack. He says that he can understand Ilhelm's way of speaking since his brain is akin to rotten cheese, so that line of thought is obvious coming from him. Ilhelm is taken aback for a second, and he changes the topic slightly. He says that he heard there's 6 months left until the research presentation, or maybe it is 3 months. So he will see whether Dekulayan's words triumph after the research presentation. The fact that Dekulayan is being wary of everyone else and siding with the blood shrouds is hard to believe for Lilia. She thinks that maybe what Lockhart said was the truth. The next day, before Dekulayan left Berkt, he commissioned one of the best-named craftsmen to make a wand for him. With this, all the conditions of the sub-quest of Rockaloc's wand were completed. The person was quite the famous craftsman. Perhaps it was thanks to Dekulayan visiting him in the past, but Wu Jin was able to clear a quest he didn't even know about. On the train. On the way back to the Empire, he was in the same carriage as Vethan. Vethan didn't bother hiding his hostility, but no conflicts actually occurred throughout the ride. At last, this long trip has finally come to an end. Immediately after landing, they meet Julie. Julie says that he heard that Dekulayan was ambushed, and she is glad to see that he is safe. In reply to that, Dekulayan only says thank you. He concludes that it seems like Julie has heard about the news from Varen. He doesn't know what kind of story they heard, but they don't seem happy that Dekulayan was the only one who survived. Keeping her trembling hand at bay, Julie says that she read the news that Dekulayan and Veron worked together to save the victims on the train. So, she says that she would like to ask how Veron was at his last moments. Dekulayan was going to tell her everything, that Veron tried to kill him, and things ended up this way after they fought. He was going to tell Julie at the very least, but now that he is standing in front of her, he can't bring himself to say anything. Should I tell her the truth? He wonders. But the truth is too cruel for her that maybe she can't take it. Julie's conviction will not waver, but her heart isn't as ironclad. That's the nature of the Julie he knows. If Julie hears the truth, she'll certainly blame herself. She'll say her subordinates' wrongdoings were hers and severely torment herself. The right thing to do is to not tell the truth to Julie, even if he alone receives the ire of others. At that moment, an announcement is made that the 4th train is heading to the Empire. So, those who have tickets should proceed to board the train. Dekulayan says that it's difficult to say, but Veron was emotional. After that, Julie takes her leave saying thank you. She mentions that now she is going to see Veron. Wu Jin thinks that he is laughably the same since he can't get a grip over the feelings that Dekulayan had. At the same time, Sylvia arrives asking him why did he hold back instead of saying the truth. Hold back what exactly? Dekulayan asks. Sylvia doesn't say anything. She just hands Dekulayan a book, saying it's a gift, and leaves. Alan asks, what is this? But Dekulayan replies that he also doesn't know what this is. He thinks that everything's exhausting, even until the very end. Now he just wants to quickly get home and rest. He tells Alan that they should make haste and return. Meanwhile, at the crime site using a magic crystal, an officer shows Julie some past scenes of the ambush. Julie sees the whole incident from the explosion to the fall of the train. She is sad after seeing this incident. She thanks the officers for showing them. Julie then ways towards the cliff, while the rest of the squad members ask the officer for any keepsake and the information of the enemy behind this ambush. The officer tells them that he has no keepsake, and it is an unwritten law that they do not ask about the crime that has unfolded on the way to Burst. Julie stands at the cliff and looks down. She is heartbroken as she has lost his right-hand man. Later on, we can see Deculaean has reached his home, and his sister yells at him for handing a family check. His sister asked him if he has forgotten that they are in a financial crisis, and in this way they will only last for a month or two. Deculaean didn't expect that the fee of making a wand would be so high, so to cover that he has to write a check. But after hearing his sister's words, he gets worried about the finance of the house and decides to work on that. Deculaean tells his sister to clam down and not to worry as he has many ways to secure more fund. Deculaean takes his sister to the room where all the items he bought from the auction are stored. His sister asked him what he is going to do now. Deculaean tells her to hold on a second and advise her to speak more ladylike, as she will be the next family head. Hearing this, she gets more angry, but the butler holds her. Deculaean gets closer to the items and thinks, he didn't know what the reason was at first, why the items at the auction were exuding the energy of wealthy magnate. He just thought they were art investments that could exist in the real world. However, just recently, he naturally came to realize something while he was getting ready to go back to Burkt. A way to use these items to increase wealth. He uses Midas touch on the item. Seeing this, Deculaean is touching the items, his sister nags him. Deculaean tells her to bring an appraiser as he will put these items to the auction. What? Why are you selling these again when it hasn't even been long? You're supposed to hold on to antiques. These won't even go for half the price you paid for them. Yariel tells him this. Deculaean tells her to shut up. He then orders Butler Roy to call an appraiser right away and transport these items. Deculaean then looks at the vase and sees its info. Vase of the Eastern Master Craftsman description. A vase developed with the magical talent of the Master Craftsman's heart and soul. Due to Midas touch, its potential was awakened. Type P. Pottery, flower vase. Special effects. The flowers that this vase holds will never wilt. Additionally, said flowers will slowly transform into new flowers with Fock petal possessing effects ranging from mid-class fatigue recovery to mid-high-class fatigue recovery. A vase that's worth 2.5 million elni now has turned into an item that Deculaean don't want to sell. After that, the appraiser comes and starts to take the items for a appraisal. Yariel asked Deculaean if he is really planning to bankrupt them. Deculaean tells her not to worry as they surely will make money. Saying this, he left for his work. University Magic Tower, Magic Exploration Club Room. Effarine Luna and her club members are playing cards. Her friends were shocked to see how Luna has won 3 times in a row, the childer, and enjoying their free time. To Luna, this feels like a dream. She come from a barren family, she didn't even go to the academy, and ever since she entered the tower, she has been constantly hated by others. It's not just the students either. Even the professors don't take kindly to her. There were a lot of incidents, but she didn't imagine that she will have friends and will be enjoying with them. As they are taking to each other at that time, Professors Relin and Beck enters the room. Professor Relin shouts at them and asks what this club is doing. Beck tells the professor that some low-class commoners are only taking up the space of the magic tower and doing pointless things. Seeing them, Luna gets that they are here to create problems as Professor Relin and Beck. The two of them keep on making an issue out of everything concerning commoners. Professor again shouts and asked, "What are they doing? We submitted a club creation plan and we were granted permission. We are an official club," Luna says. Hearing this, Relin gets angry and says, "What? Who the hell allowed this stupid club to be formed?" He then points at Luna and says, You're the lowlife that was punished that time! It's you again! Ha! Look at this arrogant brat, glaring at her professor! You! Avert your eyes! The red-haired girl tells Luna to clam down. Beck laughs quietly, seeing this. Rellin again asked who is the professor that approved for this club. As everyone stays quiet, Rellin shouts at them. At that time, Professor Decolean comes and tells Rellin and he is the one. Rellin gets scared and looks at Deculean. Deculean gives an intimidating look and asks Rellin if he has any complaint about the club.